Hello and welcome to another Forza Motorsport 7 video. Now, drift suspension. It's a new addition to Forza Motorsport 7, and as you're seeing here, it makes it a lot easier, at least for me, to go sideways. You can have up to 60 degrees of steering angle, and it's great. I've played around, as you can see here, with actually drifting with it, and it's pretty good. But this got me thinking, how would it compare to stock and race suspension if you wanted to go around a circuit? Because you have more steering angle, would this mean that it makes you go faster around a circuit? So I did a series of tests, and the first one was us building race cars as we usually would up to A class, but the only difference is we put drift suspension on the cars. So this is what happened.
Oh, remember the acapellas from last night, Quinn?
Oh yes. If I can, I'll try and put that.
I almost wish.
Basically, low restraint.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no!
Basically, this is what happened.
Squeeze, ladies and gentlemen, join me in an acapella.
Sorry, if you just joined the stream, I'm very sorry.
Report on how it's turning. It's actually alright.
Yeah, same here.
It
feels weird.
It feels a bit weird.
Oh, sorry.
Maybe in a car like yours,
I
it's so
can just-
light.
Yeah. It feels like it
Feel
can,
my
it
wheels
can crack
turning
if you
so
want it
much.
to. Feels like it
wheels
can go
just turning
sideways.
all the time. They just don't stop turning in.
That's true.
It's very easy to catch though.
Yeah.
Like when you
Like
do it,
charger and
slide out,
charger.
because obviously you've got that drift suspension and you've got all that steering angle. You can just correct it really easily.
Okay, so we're in our own private lobby now because the public lobby had a NASCAR track for the next race, and
I wanted to do that.
yeah, of course you want to do that, but we can't really
so much
test
power.
drift suspension on race cars by going round in a circle, can we? So we come to.
Oh, it's not a
start.
circle, it's a square. Rounded rectangle.
Yeah. With rounded edges.
Goodbye.
Jeez, that was accelerating.
Wait,
fast.
they've updated like the times on the left side of the screen. I'm swear it used to have like 4 even if there were 3 people in the lobby.
What?
Oh, it did. There used to be like a space
Oh
beneath.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh,
Whoa,
that
Those
was
are coming in
me.
with the clutch updates.
Alright, I'm gonna back out of that one because I don't want to go too wide. Into
Oh!
Well, I am doing anyway.
Oh no, the track limits.
Yeah, I can only do about 150 miles an hour my lowest.
Give them room.
Going on the inside. Whoa.
Oh, we both got him.
God damn it.
I'm almost up the inside of the lorry. I'm gonna have to go around the outside. Or maybe I can duck underneath.
Oh no, I've left the door wide open.
That. Perfect. It doesn't actually make too much
clean, yeah.
difference.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
no,
Lotus.
around the outside of the charger.
We both
The
got
charger or
him.
Challenger, it's one of the two.
It's Charger.
Hey! And
Sorry.
got them both.
Messed ourselves up.
My bad.
Went for a dive and
Wait,
because your
was
car's so long, I just crashed into the back of you.
Nah, you can stay back there, it's fine.
I mean, we could, but Quinn needs content.
Here for my stream.
Oh, well. There's my content right there. I messed up our race, which I wouldn't usually put in, but let it crash, I'm not going to put it in.
Lotus is magic, this is not gonna go well.
This is really not going to go well. He's going to back out. See, that was too much on the inside. I thought I could get away with it, but I couldn't.
My brakes are impeccable, can I get it stopped?
That's not gone
I
well.
can! No, I can't, sorry.
Crashed into the side of me instead.
Watch out, guys!
Oh, the
Massive
acceleration! Yes!
I was too busy looking at Louis crashing into a wall. Okay, so I think we have proved that you can actually drive with drift suspension a race car. It's not undrivable. It's maybe a little bit heavy, causes I think a little bit more understeer than race suspension. But other than that, I think it's pretty good. If you get sideways, you can obviously hold it or correct it quite easily. So yeah. So let's move on to the second part of this video. So for the second experiment, what I did was maybe a little bit more thorough and a little bit more accurate than just racing race cars that we built. What I did was I gave 3 cars, one rear-wheel drive car, one front-wheel drive car, one all-wheel drive car, 5 laps around Lime Rock, put for the first 5 laps on stock suspension, then the next on race suspension, then the next again on drift suspension, so I would get a nice clear board of data to compare the lap times. Now there you just saw all the cars that I used: the Lotus Esprit, the Honda Civic, and the Audi TT RS. The rear-wheel drive one being the Esprit. This was it right now on drift suspension. And honestly, it didn't really feel as good as it did on race suspension. I've just cut out the race suspension replays because the drift suspension is what you're here for. But yeah, it didn't really feel as good as race suspension. Race suspension felt a lot more planted. It really felt a lot more different than stock suspension. I've never really compared sort of suspension performance when it comes to handling and lap times, but yeah, this was really interesting to sort of see the contrast of different suspension performance. And drift suspension, it felt sort of in the middle when it comes to stiffness. Like, it's stiffer than stock suspension, but I believe it's softer than race suspension. I could be wrong on that. And the steering angle, well, it didn't really help the front-wheel drive car and rear-wheel drive car. If anything, it made them understeer a little bit more, which is not really my preferred driving style. However, for the all-wheel drive car, it didn't really feel as planted. All the cars didn't really feel as planted as race suspension, but it sort of it helped the all-wheel drive car in a way. It made it feel maybe even a little bit less understeer. I mean, if you want to do this, put drift suspension on your all-wheel drive car of some sort, and tell me if you come up with the same results. Does it make your all-wheel drive car drive better? But for me in the Audi TT, that was the case. So yeah. So after probably about an hour of testing, these are the results that I came up with. Now you can see that the race suspension for the front-wheel drive car and the rear-wheel drive car, and indeed the all-wheel drive car, made it quite a lot quicker, pretty much a second quicker for every car. Moving on to the drift suspension, for the rear-wheel drive car, made it about half a second slower. For the front-wheel drive car, did only make it a tenth slower. However, for both cars, did make it feel absolutely terrible to drive. Just, I don't know, didn't feel as planted or tight together as race suspension would make it. The same could be said for the all-wheel drive car. Did make it, I don't know, didn't feel as planted as the race suspension, obviously, but did make it 3/10 quicker around Lime Rock, which I found pretty interesting. It did sort of iron out quite a bit of the understeer, not all of it, there was still some there, but it did iron out quite a bit of the understeer that the all-wheel drive car would have. So yeah, some pretty interesting results there. So the next and final experiment that we did was basically sort of the same as the rear-wheel drive, front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive drift suspension comparison, only to put a bit more of a visual effect to it, we raced them. Now I actually forgot to say that in the last experiment all the cars were stock, just the suspension was added to them, so that's what we did for these races as well. So this is what happened.
So here we are then, we're going to be doing some actual live testing on a racetrack to see what suspension is truly better. Now, we're going to be testing the stock suspension against the race suspension against the drift suspension. Now, these you will be able to decipher from the colours of our cars. The stock suspension will be in white, the race suspension will be in red, the drift suspension will be in purple. First of all, we're going to be going to the Hockenheim with the BMW M5.
Right, so, oh god.
Now, you went wider than I expected.
No.
So, like, these cars are completely stock, excepting the suspension.
Yeah.
It's the only difference on them.
So I have the drift suspension. I think it's sort of similar to stock, a little bit, maybe a little bit firmer, obviously with more angle. What I found in my test.
So my race suspension stiffens up the suspension a lot and lowers the car down.
Makes it feel more planted.
Oh god, the suspension on the stock suspension is obviously built for comfort and
yeah, well, comfort-ish. It is an
going
M5.
over
It's not
bumps.
exactly, you know, it's not
I mean,
exactly
this isn't
standard
exactly
car.
firm this isn't exactly firm suspension if you
Yeah.
just watch me on the brakes then. But the drift suspension is a little bit softer than the race suspension, but firmer than the stock suspension.
Yes, please. Give me a push.
Well, it's a braking zone, so I'm not going to do that. Oh, it's like 3 wide.
Oh, 3 wide.
This is terrifying. I've got the door's being closed.
Yep,
Sorry.
well, he has very
Sorry,
much
Quinton.
slammed the door on my purple BMW.
I didn't mean to. Well,
Oh
I mean,
god!
if you
The
interrupt.
curves that Hawk
Oh.
is gone into the pit lane. The curves that Hockenheimer on
We're
there.
waiting? No, not waiting. Thanks to the push.
God damn it.
Let's see.
That's in pole position.
Lucas says good news. What was that saying?
My other car is a Daisy Sandero.
Oh my god. My other car is a Dacia Sandero. Okay. Sure.
It's a bit humorous stickers all over my car.
Yeah.
Your ratios in this thing are a bit weird.
Yeah,
No,
I
just-
noticed that.
no.
They're a bit short.
Always blocking
In
blind.
mine,
You learned
Mine's
it from
very
last
poor
time. I mean,
now,
what? This is the first time we've ever done this race
First
ever.
attempt, there was no disconnections in the first attempt.
Oh.
Let's forget about it.
understand.
Oh, I've got a better
Just
run.
completely not acknowledging them because they're liars.
They're gonna go out wide, I can tell already.
And
Don't
you'd
say.
be right.
Future killer. See?
Come on.
Door to door, Jesus. Oi!
I'm bound to make a mistake in this thing, don't worry.
Right, I'm gonna... I've pressured Louis into a bit of a mistake there.
No, that wasn't a mistake.
Was a bit. You went a bit wide.
Wasn't. You're a bit wide.
Oh, it's got the overtake.
Oh, going for the cutback. Get a run. Come on. I am.
It is almost too
No.
wide through there.
I've got it. For now.
Push off the road, mate. Literally pushing you through the corner at this point.
The drift suspension seems to help all-wheel drive cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I might
Again,
even rather
concrete
take
evidence
this over race suspension.
It does make it feel like it has less understeer. It does make it feel like the car feels less cumbersome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've just seen what the lap times are like.
Yeah.
Oh,
Louis
pretty
actually
much
put
the
in a
same.
tenth of a second quicker lap as well.
With
so
me, I'm like a second and a half slower.
Well,
Yeah.
no, you did get the fastest lap because
completely irrelevant.
It was clean, but yeah, I'm pretty much irrelevant.
Also, I'd like to thank my sponsors, Peniston Oils and Larson Biscuits.
So for our final race, obviously we're going to come to the front-wheel drive section of car. Now we did see in the previews, kind of the test for it, the front-wheel drive did do better with the race suspension by again about half a second. So we're going to see really. We have picked the Odyssey. For the pure reason we didn't take something slow when I reviewed them anyway. I didn't take anything slow. They were all built up to A class. We didn't build anything like quite big. Even we did take the Cherokee, but that was all-wheel drive. So the idea behind this is, will a slow car, heavy, cumbersome front-wheel drive car do better with the race suspension, or not? So let's get straight into it. Prius repellent.
Prius Plus.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I'm taking the drift suspension this time, Quinn in the race suspension, and Louis in the stock suspension.
Oh, that's gonna only go
So-
well.
I
don't
don't
remember
know.
it
I
saying
wasn't really
right.
fast enough to have a massive accident, but we're in
Fun
Odysseys,
to
so
race.
That's alright.
They're fun to race. If I'm honest.
my rear end is getting hilarious, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, it's very much up the inside there.
Oh, an amazing
This
run
thing
from the Purple
rolls
Odyssey.
so much body. Oh god, we're doing this circuit. Damn it. So much body roll.
Leave room.
Not too bad in the Joe suspension, to be honest.
It feels good in the race suspension, I won't lie.
Things you've never heard said about a Honda Odyssey.
It feels good in race suspension.
I've
it's getting close.
better through there.
Yeah, I was gonna leave room, but because this is so cumbersome, I kind of left a bit too much
Kind
room.
of through it. Yeah.
You guys got
I
a lot
just
more
had a
speed on this straight.
I'm on slammed, hammered suspension in an Odyssey. That is probably one of the silliest things you could really do.
Come on. I'm gonna try and get a cut back.
I'm going to go wide a second
Oh no,
time.
I'm off-roading.
Nope.
Yes!
Oh,
Sorry.
there's a big red Odyssey.
Try and do this flat out.
This is the only science experiment that involves racing Odysseys. Oh,
Oh my god, yeah,
It's
the rear end
close.
is surprisingly
I think it's just because
sliding
it's
the rear.
a front-wheel drive car and it's the front or the rear just doesn't show.
Oh, I've got an amazing
I should
run.
have been in 5th there. I'm gonna change down to 4th. Yeah, I really should have been in 4th. Damn it.
I'm gonna have to leave room though. Could have cut across the inside, but probably would have led to a massive accident. Oh, hi there.
Bit of a bump.
Oh, I'm going wide, I'm sorry.
Come on, go, 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 go.
High speed! Odyssey!
Come on, right, million horsepower. Please,
And we're gonna go!
suddenly gain power.
Yeah.
No!
So, the dual suspension one. The dual suspension one. Let's see
Yeah,
what the
but I think
lap
the
times
race
are
is-
like.
the race
You actually got a
suspension is the quickest.
much better lap time.
The race
By like
suspension is
8
very much
tenths
the
of a
quickest.
second.
I was close.
That's
I was only half
incredible.
a second off.
Yeah, the race suspension is quickest. It's just my stupid being in 5th.
Shift.
Yeah, I should have been in 4th, but
I didn't actually lose that much ground.
so
The race suspension got a massive
Overall.
lead in the
no lap times.
lap time.
The front-wheel drive car is way quicker on race suspension. So there we go. Drift suspension doesn't exactly make you faster around a circuit. Now I'm not actually sure totally about all-wheel drive. I mean, if you want to try this out for yourself, get an all-wheel drive car, put drift suspension on it, and leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think. But yeah, overall, I think I'm just going to stick with race suspension just for safety from now on. But that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll leave a link to Louis and Lewis's channel. They helped out with this video. Go subscribe to them. But if you have enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. But until the next video, goodbye.